Good morning, happy Friday. I am pumped. I am so happy because, yesterday's episode of Hot Ones was awesome, but I gotta talk about that 90's show too. So, yeah, Hot Ones and that 90's show. Those were my highs for yesterday. Let's see, what did I say for my low? My low is the fact that for the second time, that 90's show ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. And now we have to wait. Well, last year we had to wait up an entire year. Now we have to just wait until October. So I really want. Seriously, between that 90's show part 3 and The Legend of Vox Machina season 3, October's gonna be a good month, man. Actually, and you know what? I love that September's gonna have me going back to Trinity College for my 15-year reunion. That's gonna be awesome too. So, yeah, my low was that 90's show ended, but I'll get to that in a second. And my act of kindness was I emptied a dehumidifier for my dad, and I helped my mom prepare dinner. So, yeah, that was, that's what I did. So, let's talk about Hot Ones because Lupita Nyong'o was on, which, honestly, here's the thing. Lupita Nyong'o is easily one of the best actresses of our time currently. And you're not going to find anyone more raw in terms of emotion, following the method, or just being overall cool. And this episode of Hot Ones legit, proved it. Hell, the first question was Sean asking her about doing A Quiet Place Day 1, where there's almost like no spoken dialogue. And Lupita Nyong'o said, like, bodily and facial expressions are like the key. Like, listen, even without context, a great actor or actress can take, like, a smile, and it can convey so much behind it. And that's exactly what actors and actresses do. Also, they talked about how she learned about patience regarding the fact that there was a cat. And, you could get, the scene perfect, but the cat was looking at the camera, so they gotta do the scene all over again, which is funny. In her opinion, the scariest film she's ever seen is A Beautiful Mind. And, well, here's the thing. I've seen A Beautiful Mind. I had to see it in college. It's not a scary movie. But just like the twists and turns, and then you find out what's really wrong with Russell Crowe's character. I should probably do a movie on A Beautiful Mind, shouldn't I? I haven't seen it since, freshman year of college, so I couldn't remember everything that happened. But someday I'll probably do that. She talked about how she did a piece Ethel Fugars and Juliet's monologues for her Yale Drama School showcase. Which, first of all, she went to Yale? I did not know that. Actually, a fun fact, that was my brother's top college that he wanted to go to. I wanted to go to Yale. In that question, she also talked about how, what you learn in drama school. Because some people think, you go to drama school, you become an actor doing that. And then, going to Hollywood and becoming an actor there is easy. No. In fact, more often than not, the opposite is true. More often than not, what you learn in, drama school and theater school actually clashes with what they expect out in Hollywood. Honestly, listen, personally, I would like to be an actor. In fact, I literally mentioned the other day I had a dream that I was in an acting audition. But if I'm going to do it, I'd rather do it, my own way. Because I've never been the kind of guy that, wants to learn theater pieces. Don't get me wrong. I understand that you need to learn as to why theater pieces are the way they are. How some scenes convey certain kinds of emotions or deep meanings behind other scenes. I get it, there are some people that are interested in that. That just didn't interest me, though. Put me in front of the camera and let me do the thing I am supposed to do. Anyway, that was probably the thumbnail for the video. She talked about how difficult it was to play both characters of Adelaide and Red in the movie Us. She talked about how they had to clear the rights for Taylor Swift Shake It Off for the movie Little Monsters. She talked about how, this is important, because Lupita Nyong'o won the Oscar for 12 Years a Slave, and quite literally overnight, she went from being a virtual unknown to as popular as she is now. And it can be different. You know, you got paparazzi following you everywhere, tabloids wanting to hear your every word. Like, it can be a big adjustment. And I do see why some celebrities are kind of annoyed by that. Me personally, well, I guess I'd be the kind of person that, like, I would definitely like the attention, but I wouldn't like how I really gotta be careful about what I do. I mean, obviously I would be careful about what I do, but the fact that I would have to do it all the time, like, I can see why that's exhausting for some people. I really do. She talked about how the greatest lengths that she ever had to go to create a backstory for her character was, for her character in Us, she had to take ballet lessons. Which, listen, I've never taken ballet, but I have done choreography for stuff before. Dancing of any medium is extremely difficult to do. Like, if you are a dancer, ballet, break dancer, what have you, like, you have my undying respect. Because that is hard. That's very hard. I mean, I know that there are football players that actually do stuff like that for the sake of being more graceful on the football field. I can see why. That's hard work. And I'm not entirely convinced that, you know, I mean, doing that just to get a character's backstory, those are some deep lines. Okay, now they got to the bottom, and then she talked about it, and then Sean asked her, what's the most underrated salad dressing? A lemon vinaigrette. I could use a lemon vinaigrette. You know what? It's been hot out. It's been muggy. A lemon vinaigrette on a salad sounds really nice right about now. Sure, why not? They talked about how people, like the one role on a set that goes unseen, or the one job that goes unseen, are the people that kind of keep good hygiene for everybody. Which, hygienists? I don't know, I think like housekeepers? I don't know. Like, Lupita Nyong'o couldn't really think of what name these people have, but they're the people that keep sets clean and perfect hygiene. Which, you know, I like perfect hygiene myself. Nothing wrong there. And then, and keep in mind, at this point, she has been through the ringer, and like, the bomb legit started making her cry. Which, it's okay. It's okay to cry. We don't judge here. And for the last dab, Sean asked her regarding that one line that Jay-Z line that says to be on my Lupita Nyong'o. What does that mean? And then because Lupita Nyong'o is a straight gangster, she's like, this right here, this is what it means to be Lupita Nyong'o. Like, let me tell you something. Everyone, like, claps at the end of every, like, Hot Ones episode. You can hear the camera guy and everyone behind the camera, like, clapping that, that's a wrap. Great job, everybody. Bro, I don't know what was going on behind the camera of this episode, but they weren't just applauding. They were cheering. Like, I would not be surprised if there were people sitting down and they did standing ovations for Lupita Nyong'o. In fact, the only reason why I didn't do that myself is because I'm literally watching something on a screen. That makes no sense to do that. They cannot hear you. It's actually the real problem. That's why I see why there's a big problem when people applaud during movies. No one can hear you. Trust me, I know. No. You know, that actually reminds me. I know I talked enough about Inside Out over the last week, but I gotta mention this. When I saw that baby on screen for the first Inside Out movie, I'm like, no, I want to help you. No, why is there a freaking screen in front of me? Like that's how much crying babies get me. They do. But enough about that. I need to talk about that 90's show. Well, it's hard for me to really get into some of the nitty-gritty stuff. Because, obviously, I'm not going to give any spoilers. I'm not going to do that. I'm just simply saying, go watch that 90's show part 2. You're going to love it. Like, for like all 8 episodes, there wasn't a single time when I wasn't either grinning from ear to ear or just completely laughing my head off. Like, and keep in mind, I was actually watching this in a public place. Like, I had to contain my laughter like I'm a kid that just heard something naughty in church. Like, that's how funny this show was. Actually, hold on, let me get my other notes out. Hold on. Let me get there. Okay, so, what was I saying? Right, so, just like what I said in regards to when I talked about part 1 last year, the 2 characters for me are Kitty and Red Foreman. Again, even after all this time, Deborah Jo Rupp and Kurtwood Smith have some of the best chemistry I have ever seen on any kind of filming medium, movie, television, or otherwise. Like, you know, it was it millennials that came up with relationship goals? Like, Kurtwood, like, Kitty and Red Foreman are relationship goals. They are. They are the heart and soul of this show. They are national treasures. Okay, now I'm getting a little bit dramatic. Okay, now I'm getting kind of over dramatic. The point is, like, if nothing else, I would watch this show just to see them. And they're just as great as they've always been. And not to mention, the cast has really come into their own. Kelly Verde is Layla Foreman. Ashley, After Hyde is Gwen. Mace Cornell is Jay Kelso. Ryan Doy is Ozzy. Sam Marios is Nikki. And Maxwell Ace Donovan is Nate. Like, those 6 kids, I mean, what can I say? They're just really good at what they do now. And, like, by the time that 90's show wraps, actually, you know what? Let me say, by the time that 90's show wrapped up, everyone, for the most part, like, they went on to be big name stars and celebrities. I mean, Kurtwood Smith and Deborah Jo Rupp have nothing left to prove. They're just doing it because they love these roles that much. Which, frankly, is how they should do it. Like, if you're not having fun when you're doing your job, then you're not doing it right. But these kids, I'm telling you, like, they're gonna be stars when this is over. In fact, the only reason why they're not really doing much now is because I think they really all want to make this show as good as it is. And it is really good. I mean, again, like, I was grinning from ear to ear. I had to contain in my laughter as much as I could because, like, I looked like a kid who heard something dirty in church. And this show talks about some really serious issues. I mean, they talked about how, you know, Gwen gets treated differently because of her race. They talked about how Nate and Nikki almost got pregnant. I mean, and they tie up some loose ends that happened after the first part. I'm not going to get into how it happened, but let's just say it was funny. I mean, listen, this cast really is trying. They're literally doing all they can to make this show as good as it can be. And actually, where are the, okay, so, you know what? I'm reading the Rotten Tomatoes thing right now. 75, that's awesome. 75 is good. So, as long as it was certified fresh, that's good. But, yeah, it's obviously very serviceable for a sequel series, which is also good. But, much like in the first, I mean, definitely the first part definitely had the problem with, like, finding its rhythm, but once it got going, it got really good. And it's not like it took a long time to do, like, maybe about an episode and a half before the show really started finding its groove. Here, this one did better. Like, probably about half an episode for things to get revved up, but then it all came together. Seriously, like, if you binge watch one show this summer, have it be that 90's show. I mean, if you grew up, just like I said last time when I talked about part 1, if you grew up watching that 70's show, and you like that 70's show, you're going to love that 90's show. You absolutely will. If you grew up in the 90's, like I did, you know, you would like this show because you're going to get a lot of references. I mean, the first joke is Kitty Foreman. The first joke in part 2 is Kitty Foreman folding clothes to the Macarena. I mean, I'll be honest, I could never dance the Macarena. No one ever taught me how to dance the Macarena. But darn it, I love that song. I do. And from that moment on, I was smiling. I was. This show is so good, guys. Like, give it a watch. It's great. You know, it definitely tackles some serious, it talks about some really heavy stuff at times. It knows when to, I mean, it's a sitcom, so, but it's a good sitcom. It's a sitcom that knows how to be serious when it needs to be. And you know what? In a day and age where people gotta worry about being PC, or people gotta worry about, like, you know, standing on eggshells all the time, worried not to offend anyone, like, this show is the one thing that can, like, it takes my mind off all that stuff. And I'm sure it'll do the same for you guys. So, that 90's show part 2. In the name of all that is good and holy, give that show a watch. I hope you like this video. If you like this on YouTube channel, on social media. As always, I'm here to help me in this video for all of you guys watching the video. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you're going to use one talk channel this video, and you always are back, take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.